I have never, ever seen anything quite like the Oklahoma City Thunder and their head coach, Coach Daigneault, who used to be a ball boy at Connecticut in college. He was a ball boy in college, not a hooper, a ball boy. And he made a statement tonight that, as we speak, he's the best coach in basketball. They did it again. They were down Jalen Williams, an all-star second-team all-defense a year ago, who scored 34 in a crucial Game 4 at Minnesota after they had lost by 42 the previous game. He scored 40 in the crucial Game 5 of the finals last year, did Jalen Williams. Gone. 2 hamstring pulls. And just as A.J. Mitchell emerged out of nowhere, averaged 23 a game against the Lakers as they swept the Lakers, he's gone to a calf pull. Gone. Done. And tonight, the game starts, and here's the truth. Overall, the Thunder played a pretty sloppy basketball game. They got often shredded on defense. They gave up way too many easy baskets on defense. And they won 127 to 114. What? Money pouring in on the Spurs. Bet the opening spread of 5.5 all the way down. I didn't look right before tip-off, but it was bet down to 3.5. It probably fell below that because the money pouring in on the Spurs, as it should have. I said in the arena today, I flat out said, I'll be surprised if they win tonight. I picked them to win tonight because I had them in 7. But I said, I'll be surprised because they are up against it with SGA taking so many shots just past half court. There's not a second ball handler. Aha! But Coach Daigneault said, we do have a second ball handler. And his name is Jared McCain, whom they stole from the Sixers, obviously, midseason. And yet, Jared McCain started this game like the stage was way too big for him. I know I tweeted at one point that over the last 2 games, he had been 2 for 14. He was 1 for 10 at San Antonio in Game 4. Just stage too big. He went from third-string shooting guard, who'd come in and light it up for a little while, no pressure, no expectation, to starter tonight. And I am tweeting early in the game, stage too big for Jared McCain. And I finally tweeted, I guess Coach Daigneault is saying he's all I got, because he stuck with him and played him much of the game as a starting 2 guard, sort of combo guard, opposite SGA, who did have 9 assists tonight, but also had 6 turnovers. What a sloppy game. I just watched SGA say after the game that it might have been the worst start to a basketball game of my career, and I will second that lack of emotion. I will second it. It was horrendous. He had 5 turnovers in the first half, wound up with 6. Shot 7 of 19, still struggling, but did make 2 of 3 threes. But the point was, they got little big contributions across the board from unexpected sources, although Alex Caruso has become a bench star. Is there such a thing as a bench star? Again, I did make this point in the arena today that Daigneault was so shrewd to play him only 14 minutes in what was teetering on verge of blowout the other night and became a blowout. He scored 0 points, and I'm like, okay, but he's saving him for this because this is it. What's the figure? Teams that win Game 5s or go on to win the series 82% of the time in NBA playoff history. This was it. Got to win this one. I've still got the Spurs in 7, and I'm sticking with that. Spurs in 7. But Jared McCain scored 18 in the second half because Dagnall stuck with him. You can argue he had no other choice, no other option. But he could have tried Isaiah Joe, and he didn't tonight. Not sure why not, but he didn't tonight. He did try Kenrich Williams, who made 2 huge threes and scratched and clawed and fought and gave him energy and tenacity and physicality tonight. I wouldn't mind seeing a little more of him, but Dagnall's got a little genius going. He pushes every right button. In that comeback in Game 3, when they're down 15-0, he pushed every right button as they won the rest of the way, 123-93. Man. Isaiah Hartenstein played so big tonight. He played every inch of his 7 feet. 12 points and 15 rebounds with 4 assists. He was a plus 24 and did such a great job on Wemby, who just drifted as he is wont to do, drifted farther and farther out, shot 4 of 15, did the alien. 4 of 15, 0 of 5 from 3. I kept saying, after Game 1, he can have all those money shots from 3 you want, and maybe he'll make 1 or 2 here or there, but he's a 35% three-point shooter, and he went 0 for 5 tonight and did not command the paint. Even though points in the paint, the Spurs did win it 46-38, but still fairly close. And the point was, I heart. And then Chet did most of his damage in the first half. He had 16 and 11 total. But if Caruso is going to score 22 and make 4 of 8 threes with 3 steals, you got a chance. He's the unsung MVP. Unsung MVP. I'm writing that down so I can remember it for tomorrow's Arena NBA show. I will be there. You can book it for 2:30, or God willing, 2:30 Eastern time tomorrow. I'll be there from 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to see Rashad McCants tomorrow. And Wemby did make 12 of 12 free throws, and he did have 2 steals and 3 blocks, but he was not a force tonight because of 4 of 15. And the Spurs shot it poorly from 3 tonight, 12 of 41. That's 29% versus the 14 of only 32 three-point attempts for 44% from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City had 5 blocks to only 3, all of them Wemby's. Oklahoma City shot 48% from the floor, down 2 starter stars, to 40% for the Spurs, 48-40. Free throws. Oklahoma City was the more aggressive team, shot 38 free throws, made 33 to 32 free throws for the Spurs. 28 makes, thanks to Wemby's 12 of 12. I love that a man that tall can make that many free throws. He's just getting automatic. I tweeted him that he's not going to miss a free throw tonight, and he didn't. But in the end, the one thing that startled me was that Mitch Johnson waved the proverbial white flag, gave up with 2:13 remaining, down 14. I've just seen too many leads vanish. I've seen too much crazy happen. I've seen, I don't know. I just, the way they were making shots, the way Oklahoma City wasn't defending tonight, I didn't think it was a great defensive game by the Thunder. They're going to have to play way better than that on defense to have any shot in Game 6 on Thursday night in San Antonio. But I thought he'd let his guys try, just see if they could make a couple more threes and cut it down. You know, a couple threes, get it down to 8-ish, and then see what happens. I once saw the Spurs in a Game 6 at Miami in 2013, back in my Spurs fandom days of Tim, Tony, and Manu. I saw that team with Kawhi Leonard. What were they at? 5 with 23 seconds left? I don't know. it just surprised me that he gave up that quickly. Wemby gave the big pep talk in the huddle early third quarter. Keldon Johnson screaming at everybody. Bismack Biyombo is screaming at everybody. And I thought, okay, they're going to make a push. And they tried a couple times to make a push, though coming out of that timeout, De'Aaron Fox threw it out of bounds. That'll take the starch out of that speech from Wemby. And in the end, there's something about this Thunder team and the coach. They believe in him. They trust him. He's pushing genius buttons. I know Rashad McCants on my show pushes the "that was easy" button. Daigneault pushes the perfect button every single minute of every game. The way he allows SGA to rest and then finish, rest and finish, a quarter, a half, the game. And yet SGA did not play SGA basketball. Then he was asked on the floor after the game, when are you going to think you had a good game? Because he's always bad-mouthing himself. And he said, when I have a good game. And I agree with that. He still hasn't had a good game. Maybe the Spurs just have his number. But remember, the Spurs, who won 4 out of 5 in the regular season, have now lost 3 out of 5 in the season that counts. This team has such mental toughness. This team has such basketball backbone, such character. How did they do that without their second and third best scorers / creators / ball handlers? I don't know. I was surprised. And they did it fairly easily. 127 to 114, won by 13. I got the Spurs in 7, and I'm sticking with it. Again, do I love their chances at San Antonio on Thursday night? No, I don't. But I'm hanging tough with 7, and 7 will be tough if the alien takes it seriously. Sometimes his fire and desire come and go. He didn't have it tonight. I assume he'll have it in desperation amounts on Thursday night. But this team keeps surprising even me. And the head coach, who didn't even play basketball, can sure push all the right buttons during the highest level of basketball game. Way to go, coach. You're my coach of the year.